I don't really want to cook the chicken up in a pan or anything, but I'm gonna get this chicken cleaned up. And normally what I'll do is I'll just cook it in the microwave, but I think tonight I'm gonna cut it up and then cook it in the microwave because then it'll cook a little bit quicker. It's kind of ended up being a late evening. I've been cleaning out my storage room. And so the first thing I do is, like I did before, is try to get all the silver skin off and all the tendons and stuff out of here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cut this up like this into some bite-sized pieces because I think it's gonna cook a lot quicker. Because the original recipe calls for 8 cups of cubed cooked chicken, but I cut this recipe in half because it's a company, like if you're having company over, is the main purpose of this recipe. And obviously I don't need it, so you'd only need about 4 cups, but I don't know, I just cook up a few chicken breasts depending on it. Like if your family normally eats their own chicken breast for dinner, then just give them 1 chicken breast per person. I don't have that here. We've been eating less meat than we normally do, and I serve this over rice, so we're gonna need to cook up some rice too. A little something in here. So while it's in the oven, I'll get some rice cooking too. You could cook this or serve this with mashed potatoes if you wanted. You could serve it over noodles if you wanted, or you can just serve it just plain as it is with a salad on the side. So I'm gonna finish cutting this chicken up, and then I'm going to cook it up in the microwave. And while it's cooking, then I'm going to take a can of cream of chicken soup and a half of a cup of sour cream and mix those 2 things together so that when the chicken is done and it comes out of the microwave, then I will mix that into the sauce. So I'm just gonna finish cutting this up. Okay, my chicken is all cut up, but I'm gonna tuck it into the microwave and get it cooked. Okay, now I'm gonna grab my can of cream of chicken soup, dump that in. It's not coming out the way it usually does. Grab a spatula, clean out the can, get as much out as I can. Can't find my little blue spatula I love so much that I use for everything. It seems to have walked away out of my kitchen. Alright, and then I'm going to add that half a cup of sour cream. And just give this a nice stir, get it nice and mixed up. And I put it in a little bit bigger bowl because when that cooked chicken is done, it's going to need to go in here. And I'm going to check my chicken and see how it's cooking. We'll set this aside for right now. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab some butter-flavored crackers like Ritz, Townhouse, something like that. And the original recipe calls for around 25, but since we're having it, I'm going to give it probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 10, 12, 14. I'm going to give 15 crackers. And then we're just going to crunch these crackers up. I'll probably get my rolling pin out because it works a little bit easier, but just going to crunch these up. And then we're going to take a tablespoon of butter and melt that and put a teaspoon of celery seed, and we're just going to put it in the bag here. And this will be our crumb topping. So I've cooked the chicken for 3 minutes in the microwave. And then I gave it a stir because they have a tendency to stick together, and just put it in for 2 more minutes. I'm going to check and see if it's done. Okay, my chicken is cooked. It took about 6 minutes. I did about 3 minutes, and then I stirred it up a little bit because when they're cut up, they have a tendency to stick together a little bit. And then I put it back in for another 3 minutes. Woo. So I am going to put this into our sauce mixture. I'm going to use this slotted spoon because I don't want all the juice to go into that. Sounds like my butter might be melted. So if you would have just dumped this in, you would have had all this juice from the chicken in there, and whoops, there it goes on the floor. And we don't want to have that. See, that would have been a lot of juice to dump into your container, so your mix. You don't want that. Then you're just going to give this a good mix. And this will fit in an 8x8 pan or something similar. I'm going to give it a spray because I want it to. See, I probably could have added 1 more chicken breast, but I'm good with this. So there's only 3 of us eating tonight. All right, I'm just going to give this a little spray. Oh, yeah, I don't like things sticking to my pan. I'm going to just dump all of this into here. Grab a spatula. Try to get all the rest of it, the sauce out. I really miss my blue spatula. And then we're just going to spread this into the bottom of the pan. Okay, I'll set that aside. We're going to take our crumbs. I'm going to need to wipe my finger off just a minute. And we only need a 1/2 teaspoon of celery seed, not celery salt, but celery seed. Dump that in the bag, and then give it a little bit of a shake so that it, or a little mix so that it's kind of distributed a little evenly. Then we're going to pour in that 1 tablespoon of butter. That's kind of going to give it our crumble and our little binding agent. And I'm pretty sure you can guess what we're going to do with this then. We are then going to dump this over the top of this casserole. Spread it out. And then I'm just going to pop this in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes and cook some rice while it's in the oven. 30 minutes later and we're ready to eat. I've got my rice cooked up and I just pulled the company chicken out of the oven. Stay safe out there, everyone. Until next time.